Be careful, because there are a lot of narcissists who are going through narcissistic mortification right now as we speak. This was because of narcissistic injury and a tremendous amount that narcissists suffered this year. Why? Because there was a huge spike in engagement and knowledge and understanding with narcissism starting last year and continuing on into this year. As a result, people are more aware, they're more informed, they've worked together rather directly or indirectly through participating in comments, sharing information, etc. And for the most part, a lot of tricks that used to work with the narcissist are no longer working. As a result, they're getting more and more desperate. They know they can't come in overt anymore. They know that the basic love bombing, love flooding strategy of, oh, I miss you, where are you, and how are you doing? They know that's not going to work. So now they're trying to be more subtle, such as secret accounts, sending in friends, plotting and trying to figure out a way back into your life because they know that you will not accept them. However, the problem is for them, for the narcissist, they need everything to be planned and predictable. They need to maintain a sense of control and power over you. And if they lose it, they start to destabilize. That's what's called narcissistic mortification. And during this destabilization, because they don't have real coping mechanisms, they've never developed this, it can get more and more desperate and it can get bad. They were drawn to you because you are an empath. They are drawn to you because you are emotionally stable, you're warm, you're comforting, you have a high emotional intelligence by nature. You see the best in people by nature, or you give people a chance. For the narcissist, their lives are chaotic, disordered. They're all over the place. They don't know how to ground themselves. They don't know how to anchor themselves. So they do this through you. So when they lose you, and then they try to go out and get brand new supply, and they can't get it because people are too aware or hyper aware, they then start to destabilize, and they're dealing with a problem that they've never dealt with before. This has never happened for them because people weren't educated about it. They didn't know much about it. So as a result, they could just go grab another person, get another person, go back to the other person, use new techniques. It's a wrap now. It doesn't work. So as a result, they are going through a very intense emotional process where, because they won't see themselves, they're not going to self-reflect, they're not going to become self-aware, they will become more desperate. They will become more vulnerable in terms of, we should get married. Let's settle down. Let's start a family. You know, how about this job? You could take it. I'll pay you twice as much. Like anything to get you to re-engage. So be really, really careful, because if you have dealt with a narcissist in the past, even if it was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, be careful, because a lot of the empaths are rejecting these narcissists, and so they're making their rounds. They're going all the way back. They're going back to people that they haven't talked to in 10 or 15 years, 20 years. They're going back. So you might start hearing from ones you haven't heard from in over a decade. And then the next week, hear from another one that you haven't heard from in 5 years, 2 years. What's going on? It's almost like they work in a hive mind, but really it's because it's a disorder that is extremely predictable, has very similar symptoms, and because of the fact that for the whole herd of the narcissists, for the most part, their techniques are no longer working, they're getting called out more and more, they're suffering more narcissistic injury than ever before, you're seeing a pattern run through them. So yeah, don't be surprised if you hear from multiple narcissists that you've met over the years. Be it an old coworker who was a narcissist, an old friend who was a narcissist, somebody back in college, an old roommate that you know that don't be surprised. Don't re-engage. Don't re-engage in any way. Don't even re-engage a little bit. Even accepting a friend request. Those little small gestures like that, that's all they need to grab onto. They're going to get to work if they can. So, warning on that, and make sure to watch the most recent videos that we've done on narcissists, because we're going to go into this a little bit deeper, and there'll be more tips and tricks and things to be aware of. It's not over. Unfortunately, for a narcissist, once they've been in your life, they'll spring back up 10 years later, 5 years later, 15, 20 years later. It doesn't matter. So you always have to stay aware. You know what I mean? You already know this. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.